super fun and super explosive. Simulacrum Synthesizer is one of this channel's favorite deck donations, and Gary's bringing it back. Okay, welcome back, Vintage Gamers, to another donation deck list from Gary. If you remember this deck, it actually 5-0'd one of the recent times we played it. It is really cool, really strong, and a deck that doesn't really see play. But it is a blue Workshop deck based around the big score card Simulacrum Synthesizer, ETB Scry, and then whenever you have another artifact enter the battlefield with mana value 3 or greater, you get a Construct. Which is always very strong. It's a nice little, I would say, aggro shops, 8 cast almost, blue Workshop deck, and we're going to make a couple changes. I think we're just moving the null rods out of the main. The metagame has shifted a little bit. Jewel is still a very heavily played deck in the current metagame, but I think you have a little more freedom if you put the null rods in the sideboard, and I still think 4 null rods is really strong at answering those decks. But this gives us a little bit more room in the main. So we have another Tome in the main. We've got a Crucible of Worlds in the main to go with our very powerful Wastelands, Strip Mines, and Sagas. And then I'm also including the one Expedition map, which we talked about last time, as an additional way to find Tolarian Academy, which is your best answer to a variety of different kind of lockdown pieces, as well as finding Saga, Wasteland, and Strip Mine. And the Academy map being found off of Saga gives you a lot of different avenues there. So we're playing blue Workshops. We've got a pretty solid blue count. We got 11, 15, 23. Very nice blue count, supporting our 4 Force of Wills. We've got Lorien Reveals to support our basic islands. Thought Monitor probably a little on the weaker side here without things like Seed of the Cyanod and some more of a lower cost, but still a very powerful card. Definitely a nice way to up the blue count, draw some cards, give you some late game engine, and also like putting a Nettlecyst on a Thought Monitor is big game. Metamorph is obviously the auto include as the blue, but not actually blue in the cost card. And then Sicarian Infiltrator is always impress us in all of these different builds as a way to have a big mana sink and go really wide. Sideboard is a little changed, but not anything crazy. We have the addition of Vexing Bauble for being on the play or reversing a heavy counterspell deck. The 4 null rods for the Jewel. We do have some extra counter magic for more combo-oriented decks. Some War Coil engines versus the various, bizarre decks, but also actually decent against mono white initiative nowadays as they've moved away from Solitude. They do still have some swords. I don't know if they'll bring in swords in this matchup, but they rely a lot now on Disenchanter, the Witch Enchanter. And Wormcoil is actually pretty good in that situation. So we do end up having like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8-ish pseudo graveyard bizarre hate, but not like super heavy committal to stopping that, as it's obviously at a low point in both play rate and win rate across all 3 archetypes of bizarre. Anything else? No? Yeah, so this is good. Thank you to Gary for donating again to see this deck updated and played. I will catch you guys in round 1. Are you interested in weekly vintage metagame recommendations? Do you want to see your deck list played on my channel? Or maybe you are just looking for the best way to support my vintage content. Make sure you check out the Patreon link in the description below. Let's battle. All right, let's do it. Round 1, our hand does not have the requisite fast mana to be an acceptable keep in this deck. You're definitely going to rely heavily on Workshop, especially with only 2 Ancient Tombs. With a Force, I think this hand is a little bit closer to be something I'm interested in, but I'm going to put this one back and use the power of the London Mulligan to, this is better. This hand is very weak to a turn 1 Bauble, and so much so that I think I'll put a box Ruby away and keep this Lorien revealed so I can get an island and carry on in case I do get bobbled. Obviously, this hand does not have the requisite interaction to be a very powerful combo-oriented deck, but you can't just be mulliganing to Force Will every time either. Uh-oh. Lotus. Blue. What are we casting for blue? Ponder. Not actually a great sign for us. Ponder typically leans toward a more combo-oriented deck, just in Vintage anyways. Let's see. Like, if it's something like Doomsday, his hand's not very well set up to Doomsday. But Wolf has played some interesting stuff for us, against us on stream before. Some, like, different kind of Jeskai-oriented builds. So we'll see if that's the case. Or maybe it's just Dark Ritual Doomsday kill us. Turn 1. Looks like it. All right. We're dead. If our opponent has any cantrip in hand, they definitely have lethal. Any cantrip here, even a 0 mana or a 1 blue mana cantrip, draws them into an Ancestral Recall, which draws them into a Black Lotus, which plays a Thassa's Oracle and wins the game on turn 1. This is a pretty clean example of why Doomsday is the deck that I am playing in competitive tournaments these days. It is just extremely strong. Consistent. Deals well against hate. Great deck. That being said, if my opponent had a hand with no force there and I had a force, then we were certainly in an okay spot. Though they could have actually had Flusterstorm back up, which is pretty wild. Black Lotus hands for Doomsday result in some very silly things. One of the best Black Lotus decks. There are decks that use Black Lotus better than others. I can remember times when people were playing 4-color World Champion, also known as 4-color Deathrite Shaman Planeswalkers deck, made famous by Yuta Takahashi, and that deck was the worst Black Lotus deck I'd ever played. It just did not cast anything off of Black Lotus. It was very hard to cast. Renin 6, Oko, all kinds of all manner of things. Yeah, my opponent had Ancestral in their hand. So their opening hand was Black Lotus, Ponder, Ancestral, Dark Ritual, Doomsday, and they still have 2 cards in hand? Yeah, I mean, you got it. That's a good one. Ooh, Psychic Frogs in the main. I am not a believer in Psychic Frogs in the main of Doomsday. I think it's fine. It's not the worst thing you could do. Definitely a playable choice, but I don't feel like it really complements what your deck is doing or pushes you in the right directions. All right, so Doomsday. We have negations and traps. Vexing Bauble on the play is fine. Like, Vexing Bauble is not... Vexing Bauble and Null Rod are both cards that interact with Doomsday, but they're not really cards that are good against Doomsday, in my opinion. Same with Needle. But, let's see. Crucible, Lodestone is good. Tome is pretty unnecessary here. Probably get rid of an island. Don't want to get rid of too many blue spells, though. I don't really want to get rid of the things that clock our opponent, either. Don't have a lot of choices, though. Maybe we can get rid of 2 islands? Is that overdoing it? Maybe it's just like Lorien Revealed, Tome, Island, Needle. Because we're not getting our mana base attacked. That might be a little greedy. We'll have to see. So we did not keep a hand with force, and we did not get to play a turn. That can definitely happen in Vintage. I would say not the most common, and probably this might be the point in the, what, eight or so years that I've played Vintage. This might be the point with the least number of people killing you on turn 1. I'm not sure if that's actually true. It vibes in the back of my head, but it's hard to confirm that one. This hand is totally fine. Obviously, we don't get to do anything crazy on turn 1, but we have multiple pieces of interaction for our Doomsday opponent, and we have a way to establish an advantage. If we find a Wasteland, we have a Crucible lock, which is also very good. So I like this spot. If we draw another blue spell, we can always just play a Simulacrum Synthesizer next turn and then start really putting a clock down. Sapphire, Delta, 7-card hand, go. All right. We also have this Flash Infiltrator, which I like a lot as well. Chat looks dead. Chat is definitely alive, but no one's talking, which is fine. Down for a slow chat. No land for my Crucible, so I'm gonna go with the Synthesizer. This has a Scry attached to it as well, which is gonna be helpful in finding us the next piece of action. They might even just counter it because it does represent a clock, but they might let it go because it doesn't actually put any power in play. This is a one where it's not about getting cast, it's about artifacts entering. So theoretically, if they just counter all the rest of my spells, this will never actually produce a threat. But it doesn't mean that they have to counter most of the rest of my spells. They're going to force the Simulacrum Synthesizer, and I'm just going to say, that's fine. 5 miles, very nice. Mindbreak Trap was pitched, interesting. So they blind brought in Mindbreak Trap. Yeah, thanks, Name. Should be good. I'm positive. We're a week out from surgery date, so got a nice early, pretty fast scheduled surgery, which is good. So that is the forewarning for chat that next Wednesday there will not be a stream. Sure. 3 cards in their hand, Demonic Tutor on the stack. We've got pieces of counter magic, though if they go for like Ancestral and they go on our upkeep, then we do have negation we can't use on our turn. I don't think they're supposed to go for it because I can represent Hull Breacher here, and this deck could theoretically play a Hull Breacher. I actually, it doesn't currently play a Hull Breacher just because it's not a blue artifact that gets cast off of Workshop. But if you were really concerned about Jewel, Hull Breacher is definitely something that this deck could choose to play. Looks like my opponent is not going for an Ancestral on their turn. Don't know if that means that they actually didn't get Ancestral or not, but there's still some downsides in tapping out in terms of Flusterstorm, Daze, etc. But I don't really think waiting and playing an Infiltrator is good. Do I want another Force? That seems unlikely. I really want is a Wasteland. I don't think we're going to have the ability to recoup our losses in a way where we will be able to cast another Force in this game. So what I would like to do, because especially if I have to use both Forces on this turn after my opponent TT'd, I would just like to bottom these and try to find something else. All right, so my opponent's turn with 5 cards in hand and the card they DT'd for. We have double counterspell, but at this point, turn 4, that might not be enough. We did get our opponent to use a Force of Will on one of our spells, so there was some upside. And we are about to make a clock next turn by casting this Crucible. Ponder. Okay. Opponent bringing in Mindbreak Trap is interesting. Don't know what they thought there. All right, here's a Black Lotus. 4 cards in hand. And here's a Doomsday. Let's do a negation on this Doomsday. Do you have a counterspell backup? So from this spot, my opponent could have double counterspell backup and a cantrip, or they could have a Force and no cantrips. All right, that's on that. Let's force this Doomsday. And then we'll see if they have another counterspell. If they have Force blue card, it would be pretty bad for us because we don't have a follow-up Force. Like, even if we were to draw our Force, it wasn't good. But they didn't. So that's nice. Do they have like a backup plan here? Pass. Our best draw is by far Wasteland. Typically is. I'll play out this Sapphire as a way to... I mean, they don't have days, but... Nice. I just don't have a land, though, so... But I do have a Construct now, so at least I have a clock. They don't have another black land at the moment, so they don't have an easy way to play a Doomsday. But they could have a Dark Ritual, of course. Nice big construct token here. Very cool looking one. All right, they found the land. So if their hand is Doomsday Cantrip, they win. Could easily be Doomsday Cantrip based on the last couple turns here. Looks like it's Doomsday at least. All they need now is to have any form of cantrip in their hand, and they win. If they don't, they probably still win. We could theoretically draw a negation or a trap, maybe. I don't think a wasteland would do it. If they went for an ancestral pile, then a mental misstep might be able to do it. But my opponent is going for a Black Lotus in their pile, which means I would suspect my opponent is going to go blue cantrip as their last card in hand, gush into a Lotus kill. Because there's a lot of, I think the majority of piles here would not include a Black Lotus. Unless you were winning on the spot. Yep. Oh, the gush was in hand. All right. Well, we've invested here. They do need to cantrip one more time. Okay. Ancestral, sure. All right, yep. Easy come, easy go. Doomsday is Doomsday. This would not win. It would actually put them to 1. Yeah. It's one of the best decks in the format for a reason. All right, we're playing against Wong Deck, who has closed the stream and said they are on prison shops. Very sporting of them. That's an interesting hand against prison shops. I'm gonna keep it. Pretty sure I would keep this on the in the blind too. Having a force, having access to a basic island and an ancestral. It's not the best hand by any means, but I think this is worth keeping. I think this hand is actually worse knowing our opponent is on prison shops, but I'm not sure it's like enough to make me mulligan it. You could say maybe you should be mulliganing. Maybe you should be mulliganing. I want to force this in case my opponent just has like a bobble. Oh my. Oh, it's a no lander. I wonder how badly forcing the Lotus made their hand, because this is not a, maybe they're just trying to protect it from Wasteland. So I am going to, I mean, I'm in a good spot now, I think. Depends on if they're sandbagging a land or they don't have a land. Because if they don't have a land, mana crypt. Okay. That's up to 3 mana. So they did have a bauble. Interesting. Okay, I think I got rewarded for my call on this Lotus. Crack the bauble, look for a land. Makes sense. Interesting. Cool game so far. Get our Ancestral in there. This thing costs 1,000,000 mana. I can play a Trinisphere. It doesn't do anything, but I guess the Synthesizer looks great here. Play a Saga, play a Synthesizer, and that'll just take over the game. Second Saga and a Metamorph. Interesting as well. I think a Metamorph and a Saga are both cards I want. Metamorphing a Synthesizer here is going to be extremely good. And then I'm still making my land drops each turn if I keep the 2 lands. Opponent does have 4 mana here. 3 cards in hand and pass. Not a good sign for them. I do think playing a Metamorph is a higher value play than making a Construct. Just because of how these Synthesizers scale. Crucible. I'm not sure that's necessary. I think the Crucible is probably unnecessary. Opponent hasn't had a land this whole game, so they don't have any lands in their hand. We have 2 Wastelands already. From here, I would activate Saga, making a construct, getting a Black Lotus, or getting a. Well, I might be able to get a Soul Ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Soul Ring into Thought Monitor, make 2 more constructs. I do quite like this blue deck, especially on the play against other workshop decks. Though I do kind of, if the matchup isn't actually good, it could always be remedied by having maybe some Hercules recalls in your deck. I'm interested in possibly boarding out Force. Well, I'm definitely interested in boarding out Trinisphere on the draw, or and on the play. I like Worm Coil. I just really don't like Force, but it might just be a necessary stopgap. Needle is probably not great either. We don't have a lot of the flexibility that a blue Saga Mirror Needle has. Might just take a Needle out. And then definitely like Crucible. The Metamorphs are going to be great here. I actually think the Tomes are fine because opponent did say Prison Shops. Maybe we just take out this Lodestone Golem. Play like this. Have a little bit better threat density, a little bit better threat choices. Take out some of our downside cards. We'll probably bring the Bobble back in on the play, though it doesn't seem 100% necessary. This is an unfortunate hand that does not have the ability to play magic cards, even though it has the very powerful Tolarian Academy. Gonna have to put that one back. This hand is much better, though still has some issues. I like... Oh, man. What do I like here? I'm going to get rid of the Synthesizer, as we don't currently have a blue mana. I'd like to have the best mana base possible to play through Spheres, Null Rods, and Wastelands. And then I do still want access to Force. Ghost Quarter. Interesting. Pass. And also interesting. It's fine, I guess. Don't think I'm going to play a Metamorph copying anything. I would much rather have Force up. Wasteland, sure. More mana follow-up. Bobble. Yeah, I'm not going to force a Bobble. I'd rather have a Metamorph in hand. Yeah. I think I'm going to try to save this workshop and not have it get Ghost Quartered, because I won't be able to follow up with a Tome if I don't. This is actually going to be a really troublesome Bobble, though. Because if my opponent plays a creature here, my Tomes are really bad. But I guess my Metamorph is still good, so... Interesting. All right, so now... I wonder if I'm supposed to Wasteland the Ghost Quarter to protect my workshop. All right, we both have Worm Coil engines. This is good old-fashioned vintage for sure, though. Just workshop. Whoa! The Tabernacle! Oh, no! I cannot pay for my Worm Coil engine. It will split up. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I mean, Saga Gaming looks quite good here. We're actually out of islands now, once we take the initiative. So I guess getting rid of the Ghost Quarter had some upsides. Very, very cool game. Very fair Workshop Mirror. Automaton, not very good on this board. Shadow Spear. Okay. It's getting spicy. Trampling in, stealing the initiative. All right. No pain, no game. Hope you had a good stream. Welcome, everyone. So they take the initiative. Thanks. From Italy. Awesome. I'm hoping to be in Italy at the end of the year for a Magic event. I wonder if I was supposed to Death Touch that worm. Feels like I have to. But I'm definitely not going to be able to make construct tokens here. I guess I can if I just... Okay, actually, I can. I can take the initiative back with my tome. So what I'll do is I will use this tome to pay for the thing. 4 seasons in Bologna. 4 times a year. I don't go 4 times a year because I'm in the United States, but great tournament. Modern, Legacy, Team Trios, 2 vintage events. Something for everybody. So what I can do here is I can play an island, and I can play a workshop, and then I can play a tome. Oh yeah. You should check it out. I don't know what format you were streaming, but Modern, they have a very large Modern event. Forge onto this worm. And now that I have the initiative again, this tome taps for 2, and I can make a construct token, which is sweet. Oh, I read that wrong. You probably have been. I think... I don't know. I think it's a great tournament series and a good reason to fly across the pond. All right, so my opponent has to invest 3 mana to pay for their tokens. I've got bigger creatures than they do. I think I am in the favorable spot because I'm the one with a saga. They can take back the initiative here, but they need to lose their patchwork and their lifelink worm to do so. I would just let the death touch go through, and then I'm untapping and stealing it back. So, am I willing to keep the? Yeah, I will trade the board to keep the initiative. Yeah. I'll do that for sure. I think I like the 5/5 lifelink worm more than the construct, but I'm not sure. Let me think about this. I lose 1. I mean, the construct is definitely going to be bigger. It's just, do I care about the life total? That would be a true statement. So yeah, that would make this block also good because my 4/4 construct would become a 3/3 and die to state-based actions having 3 damage on it. True. True. Very true. It's an interesting attack from them. So now I'm going to my turn where I am trapping my opponent. I might just... I don't know if the 5 damage matters. Isn't it better to... How does this work? Whenever it becomes a target of spell... Oh, I would get warded, wouldn't I? I do not want to get warded, so I guess I will trap my opponent. I would not want to have my thing get warded. I could pay for the ward, but I think that's not a great use of my mana. Let's pay for this worm. Let's go draw our card. Let's use a tome and make a construct. Searching. Oh, I guess we have only mana in our deck here. So I don't need blue mana at this point. Rather just have a soul ring. And then still can't play an emerald into a bauble. But I could get another saga going. So let's go. I guess I can just do this all post-combat because it doesn't change this power toughness. So let's attack. I guess I could be scared about this being larger than my construct. I think Expedition for Academy is worse than Expedition for Saga here. I do love Expedition for Academy. It is the reason we have it in the deck. Let's use this one. This tome does start playing more cards, though it is without paying its mana cost. So the Vexing Bauble will actually stop this if we ever get to finish our dungeon. But if we finish our dungeon, we probably have already won the game. I could, of course, get Academy and be able to have Force up. I could just get a Wasteland, but the Wasteland doesn't really do anything right now. Saga is another threat. I am wondering if I regret attacking, though. Just because they can pay for this, play an artifact, equip the Shadow Sphere, and it's the same size. If they play 2 artifacts and equip the Shadow Sphere, it's bigger, and it actually takes... I guess I wouldn't block at that point anyways. Not necessarily. My opponent could very easily take the initiative here, which makes these cost only tap for 1. Opponent is maybe playing a Golos. Okay. So that's going to get either a Saga or a Wasteland. Might have to be a Wasteland because they're behind. Oh, Tolarian Academy. What does that imply? Ah, okay. I was about to say, what does that imply? I guess maybe... maybe there was some good there. All right. So if I pay for this, I can't activate my thing, but I'm pretty sure we're paying for it. Draw. Synthesizer. Pay. Now I have Force back, actually. Oh, wait. Now I can play. Now I can, actually. Wow, that's crazy. I actually... There's no Bauble anymore because my opponent activated the Bauble. So now I have Make Constructs and Hold Open Force, which is really, really strong. Which I think that is slightly better than playing a synthesizer out, playing like an island synthesizer. Just because making a construct. Oh, they had to use their Academy mana to pay for the Tabernacle. That is not a good look from the opponent. I don't know if we thought that one through. Rhinosphere. Yeah, I don't care. That does not matter to me. All right, 2 constructs and also the Throne of the Dead trigger. Thought Monitor with +1/+1 counters, drawing cards. I guess if I want to keep both of these things, I can't make a construct. GG's. That's fine, though. Don't need it. Sweet. Okay. Round 3. Have a Force. Will travel. Have some Wastelands. 7 card. No Luris from the opponent. Sapphire. Lotus. Ancestral? I don't think this gets better for us. It's just really bad no matter what we choose. Opponent in the tank. What would be a reason to tank over this? 4 cards after using Lotus Sapphire. If you have any 1-mana counter, you're probably fine cracking it for Lotus. If you have... So they're going Vamp, Street Wraith, Force? That can't be right. There's another Doomsday matchup. My opponent has Sapphire, Lotus, Ancestral, Doomsday matchup. Could be Tinker still. Could be Tinker still. Yeah, they're gonna... Wait. They didn't draw a card, right? They just vamped in response? Oh, because they're gonna draw it off the Ancestral. Ah, okay. They pitched an Oko, so it means I assume we're getting Show and Telled. That is unfortunate. That's a nice little sequence there, yeah. Definitely goes wrong if I do have a mental... No, mental misstep's not a big deal. I guess if I had like a negation follow-up or something like that, then it would go wrong, but definitely worth going for. Oh, Just Oath? Just Oath is fine. Well, it's not fine. I don't know if we can actually beat Just Oath. Do we have a Volkey in our deck? We do not have Volkey in our deck. That's definitely not just fine. In fact, I'm not actually sure how we beat that. I don't want to get thoughts used. I'm gonna not play a synthesizer out. Seiju. Well, Kellen has the right idea. If we get the initiative, that is a way we can play. Or if we get like an extremely large board, if we build up a ton of artifacts and then make a bunch of constructs, another way we can play. No, they drew an orchard, so scratch that. We do have a Metamorph as an Atraxa for whatever that's worth. We have 7 mana right now, so we could just go double Lodestone. Seems unlikely because we probably need a Metamorph Atraxa. So what we can do is synthesize our Lodestone. At least worth a shot. The top deck Orchard, not great for our chances. Another synthesizer. Yeah. No? I feel like it's just gonna be too slow. What would I really be drawing to? Maybe we just hope their thing bricks and we keep synthesizer and force and use that off of our Atraxa. This feels like the only way. Thoughts on Vexing Bauble? Is that good? That is a far more nuanced question than you make it out to be. It is certainly good in some situations. It is certainly good in some decks. Overall, it's probably played too much. And it is declining in play rate. So there is a Gaia's Blessing in this 10. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was not a very good Atraxa trigger. They got Wasteland, Emerald. Oh, Wasteland is so good though. There's a Wasteland in this deck. Very interesting. Wasteland, Mox, Negation, and Emerald. They chose not to take the Blessing. That's really unfortunate because I needed 3 mana to play this Metamorph. It's actually game winning Wasteland. Yeah, I don't think the Mog deck should play the Bobble as a 4 of at all. It's fine as a 1 of, but as a 4 of it makes no sense. But he's already trimming Bobbles, like he's already down to 3. Like he made a, inflammatory post, got the clicks in, and now is trimming back. Like the Mog deck is the deck that gets hurt by Bobble the most because it's heavily reliant on the 8 forces it plays. Mog could win with any deck though. That's what you gotta remember. Okay, so the cards I kept on top of my library are going to make it so I can't win this game, right? Because now my opponent is going to get another Atraxa. Yeah. I was kind of hoping my opponent hit nothing. Wasteland is not a card I expected to see, so. This is definitely a negation matchup. Is it a trap matchup? Would have been good that game, but definitely like a Bobble on the play here. Definitely want a cage. Don't typically like Needle. They have too many answers. Like the Initiative, like Lodestone in general. What cards do we take out though? Probably don't. Crucible's probably not necessary. I don't actually like Trap that much against Oath. It can definitely be good, but a lot of their plays just don't involve 3 spells. 2 more cards. All the Metamorphs are good. Maybe it's like 1 Synthesizer, 1. Yeah, I mean, those are definitely annoyances, but I don't feel like they're worth not playing Forge over. Like Forge is Forge is like not that good in this deck anyways. This is like one of the least powerful Forge decks. Like Forge is still really broken, but it's probably enough reason if I'm looking for a card to cut. No, I don't think it's worth it. Not my opponent's getting another Atraxa trigger, so I think it's not worth it. Yeah, I think Infiltrators are quite good. This hand's great. I'm not gonna be mad at you if you play another turn out there. It's totally fine. I think the only way I could realistically put up a fight in that game is if I was resolving a Metamorph on that turn. And I got Wastelanded, so. Force check. No force, they probably lose on the spot. Sweet. That is why Trinisphere is restricted. So now on the draw. I wonder if you still play Bobble. Definitely can take Trinisphere out. Maybe I'll bring this trap in. Probably not worth playing the Bobble. Rather have more blue cards. Let's try this. Yo. What up, Aloha? I like this hand. Negation. Initiative. Yeah. I like this hand a lot. Opponent's on a mulligan to 6 at the moment. They've kept 6. Let's see what they got. Strip Mine. Emerald. Oath. This is like I don't... Yeah, I'm just going to counter it. Okay. It actually doesn't change anything, right? Because I need to use the land to play the tome. If I were to go Crypt, Emerald, Nettlecyst, it's only 3. So I guess at that point it's just a tome. Turn 1 initiative. Ding ding ding. Does it? In what way? Oh, because this would have made 2. You're right. I don't have to play the Nettlecyst out. I can just use this to have 1 extra mana, and this makes 3 mana. Okay, yeah, you're right. I don't know. There's also some upside of not playing the Nettlecyst out. We'll have to see. How much is the Nettlecyst attacking for? 4? Would have gotten Forged on, so it would have been 6. Also exposed my Academy strip mine. I don't know. I did miscount. That is the reason I didn't do that play. But I also think there are some reasons not to do that play. Don't know if they actually override, but they have no follow-up play. Because now I'm doing what? Going down the Lost Well? Or I guess I am. Don't think I care enough about trapping to miss out on Lost Well value here. Ooh, this is great though. Like, isn't this great? Like, end turn, Infiltrator for 1,000,000 mana. I think we just keep both of these. Yeah, this looks great. Might be able to win the game next turn with 2 Nettlecyst equips. I guess if they show and tell me, that's a problem. They drew the land for turn, right? Pass. All right, well, I'm gonna do the thing where I kick this how many times? I have to choose now? Wait. All right, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 3, 5, 7, 9? 3 times? I would like to draw 4 cards and make 4 1/2s that all buff my Nettlecyst. For whoever was asking, are infiltrators good? Here's your answer. This card has been unbelievable. Card is so sweet. Vamp in response. Don't want to get mental mist up. Do I have mental mist up in my deck? Nope. Nope. Oh yeah. Wait, are they dead from here? I feel like it's got to be pretty close. Stash makes 2 mana. What? And I have Force back up now? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. They're dead. Oh my. I had no power on board. Untap, hit you for 30, 40? 40? What? What? All right, we're back up against Mosh. Mosh has been crushing it on Oath. I think this hand's a keep, even though I have no mana. I have a Force versus Oath, and like a lot of really strong plays. Obviously, this hand has problems, and there are lots. Oh no! Don't. I just think with a Force and an Ancestral, I'm willing to keep this hand. They're always on Oath. That's their thing recently. I'm on the draw. This is the kind of hand I keep a lot. See what they have for us. Nothing. All right. Moxes and lands. Nope, I missed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No, they have a wasteland? Okay, well, I did not... There's a lot of wastelands in Oath recently. What's going on? All right. I still have an island, though, if I have, like, hit an off-color Moxen, too. All right. Get rid of one of the thought monitors. This is true. This is true. I did not lose any mana. Oh, they don't have any more lands. I think I'll keep my 7 versus your 7. I'm down. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Game. Please. Probably just thought monitor again. I mean, I'm what? I'm not actually that likely to draw mana source, right? It's not a huge percentage of my deck. It's 26 cards. So I'm like 50% chance to draw a land every turn. Oh, 25. Still, I mean, I still 50 around 50%. I can't let this resolve. Or are they gonna try to counter my Mox or something? All right, found the Mox. Oh, no, they let it resolve. Am I willing? Yeah, I mean, if they have mental misstep, that's fine. All right, well, time to play the game. I did lose a lot of my cards, though. Do I want to use this now? I guess it just depends on what their stock list looks like right now in terms of counter magic. I'm seeing mental misstep, 2 Flusterstorms. I have this like little gnat that I just cannot kill. Sorry. 2 negations. So there's 2 Flusterstorms and there's 2 negations. Flusterstorms and negations both don't do much versus me. But they also didn't negate this jet. So I'm going to cast this now. Ah, Force of Will. Very nice. Force of Will pitching show and tell. That's good for me. All right. All right. 4 cards in my opponent's hand. 5 cards after they draw. We have a mana advantage, and we have some creatures. Pass the turn again. Mana Crypt. Into the Floodmaw, Flusterstorm. All right. I'm going to play a Lodestone Golem. I wish I could play Lodestone and Lodestone, Metamorph my Lodestone, but I guess that would be a little risky against Into the Floodmaw. Into the Floodmaw? Is that what it's called? Into the Floodmaw. If this gets countered, though, I don't have a follow-up because I got rid of Infiltrator to my Force and Monitors to my hand size. Are we Floodmawing? Yeah, okay. Makes sense. I do not get a fish, sadly. synthesizer. Could be interesting here. Play a synthesizer and play a metamorph as a synthesizer. That might be worse than I'm just playing a lodestone. But I do get a scries, island, and another synthesizer. I don't think I need an island. Do I need another synthesizer? No. Again, playing this metamorph is like a little suspect into the Seiju or second Floodmaw. Don't think I need this. I am gonna play it though. I'd like this game to start ending. Wasteland. Is Wasteland enough? If Wasteland isn't enough, like if they have a play, then Wasteland is useless. And if they don't have a play, then they're dead anyways, right? So Wasteland, but if I'm playing a lodestone next turn, I can't really play much if anything else, unless I drew like Time Walk. I guess I could play one of the two monitors if I draw a monitor. Just trying to figure out what else I care about. I just don't feel like there are that many things. They probably have a bunch of show and tells and attractors in their hand. I guess I'm not actually winning off of just cast lodestone. I mean, see if they. I have two more monitors in my deck. I'm not beating show and tell. Oh, like I'm not beating show and tell there. But this is really good. Like hitting a mana source is really good here, so I paid off. I should not. Whatever. It's fine. Like I don't need to do this pre-combat, but I also just really wanted to F6. Does attacking Oko do? I don't know. They turn this off. I can still attack for lethal. Limits their ability to do anything, so it's probably fine. Also helps play around, I don't know, Force of Vigor maybe? Now they can't show and tell though. And Oath is too late because they're just dead on board through Oko, right? Yeah. Ooh, that was a spicy game. All right, so it's Oath again. My opponent might bring in Collector Oofs. It's a thing that they do in their Oath deck. I don't know if they do that here. That would be fine. We have no rods in the sideboard. We're not really worried about that. I'm just going to bring in cages and then theoretically trap. I'm not 100% sure on trap either. Needle would have to be hitting 3 Okos. How many Wastelands are in this deck? 3 Wastelands, huh? 3 Wastelands, 1 Strip Mine, 1 Boseiju. Nature's Claims and Abrupt Decays. I just hate Needle here. Trinisphere, Needle, Forge. Cruise. I guess Crucible gets slightly better. Opponent is doing a bunch of wastelanding. Man, I almost wish we had more infiltrators in our deck. Force Trap Tomb Map. Sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Come on, all in. No! All right. Looking at my hand again. Don't think we're gonna be able to trap anything this game. I will take 2 damage to play a 1 mana spell. Get wastelanded, we're in trouble. Strip mine. The We don't have 4 ancient tombs is a big reason. Like casting Karn in workshop decks already is a little sus. And we don't even have 4 tombs. We definitely considered Karn this time around, so my opponent just has a force backup here. I guess? Or are they trying to make me use my force? I'm confused. I'm gonna force this. I should probably just force pitching trap. Don't feel like trap is getting better in this game. Oh, they just want me to use my force. So where does that leave us? Not being able to cast spells unless we map for... We can map for a workshop. Kind of seems okay here. Map for a workshop and play a lodestone. Okay. Maybe they have like land second oath. They can't really afford to strip mine me or they're gonna get locked, so could be land second oath is probably the worst outcome. GG's has been called. No more lands. GG's. All right, we beat oath twice. That's pretty sweet. Okay, fifth and final round with this donation deck list. We're up against Mosh again, so another oath matchup. This hand has no blue mana, but it has double force and lots of other mana, so I'm gonna keep it. I do find force to be a really high premium against the current list of oath, just because they're so jam dependent. They are not set up to really play long games. No real cantripping. Do need to find something, but I have lots of ways to progress this game, and I have obviously a ton of power in my hand. Though blue artifact is not it. Brainstorm's real good here. I don't have that many blue sources in my deck, right? I have 3 islands. Lorien revealed is 6. Lotus, Sapphire, and Map. Academy, Tome. I think it's reasonable. We have ways to protect ourselves. We also have like fallback plans if they get like if they push through like a show and tell through 2 forces. We could still have a metamorph after. Wasteland, sure. That's not too detrimental to our current state here. My opponent brainstormed and then did not fetch, so... Is this going to be an oath after playing a wasteland? I might be priced into letting this oath resolve. It's just so hard to win through an active oath. I don't really want to deal with that. Can pay a Flusterstorm here, right? I'm pretty sure I can pay a Flusterstorm. Oh, I cannot pay a Flusterstorm here. What am I missing? The jet? Yeah, I still don't really want to play through an oath. Okay, my opponent had force back up too. So we're playing through an oath. We have tools. We've been over them in this very video. Island is a great start. I'm going to go island on their turn. I guess it doesn't play around negation, so let's just island on my turn then. There's an infiltrator and a force. All right, the plan is afoot. Surprised we didn't get wastelanded. I don't believe I'm likely to go for anything until I have a nettle cyst in hand. Thought monitor. The infiltrator has just been unbelievable. Did you see the picture on Twitter, kind of? It was so cool. 0 power to 40 powder. Powder. It's been great. It's just been a great card. Looks like they're holding up Hardcast Force. What is my infiltrator for right now? This and then 6. So it's squad 3. Into a 1-mana thought monitor. Is it enough? Like if they wasteland me, it gets meaningfully worse. If they Oko me, it gets worse. If I have to force back, or even if I don't have to force, I think this is fine. This window seems reasonable to me. Okay. Draw 4? That's so crazy. Time Walk would be pretty good. Synthesizer. I mean, it might be enough to just make a ton of things, right? So what's my best sequence? Synthesizer into Tome, into Island, into Thought Monitor. It does make some sequences where we draw like a Time Walk worse, because we could lead Thought Monitor. But having a Synthesizer in play is a path to winning. Well, I need to know if it resolve. I don't know if losing the scries matters, because I want to get Tome trigger here, like not use Lorien revealed, because Tome is a construct. Yeah, I don't think you're gonna get scry value. Negation. So I could let this negation happen, in which case I keep my force. I think that's fine. I think I can let this negation happen. Maybe I don't get enough creatures this way. Kind of depends on the Thought Monitor. A force in hand is like really powerful though. They had force and force. They pitched 2 Atraxas so far. So I think I just force pitching a Thought Monitor on this. I need to get at least 1 creature into threaten for lethal. No, I think we're winning. I think this is a winning spot. Oh, I did draw the time walk. Okay, I mean, this is a great spot. Like they hit Atraxa here, but is it like what's enough for them? Yeah. True. So this gets them ancestral strip mine. I mean, we're beating Atraxas. Like that's Atraxa is not good enough anymore. They kind of needed like into the flood maw. Yeah, depends on what they milled. Yeah, they still have a walk in their deck, but they didn't hit it here. They hit Show, Oath. They didn't. Oh, they kept the Atraxa, so they have no more Atraxas in their deck. And then they kept Flusterstorm and Island. Kept Island? Tropical Island? So they have Oath, Fluster, Atraxa, Show, +1 in hand? That's not enough. An Oko, oh, they're going to show the other Atraxa. We can just show a Metamorph. Also, I get a Construct. Oh, yeah. I mean, what does Time Walk do? Unless they're taking infinite turns, like, I get a Force, a creature, an enchantment, a land, and another Metamorph as an artifact. Wait, what? What am I missing here? Doesn't seem like they have one Beseiju in their deck. Wait, why can I, what am I missing here? Enchantment, land, artifact. Isn't this a creature? Why is it letting me take 2 Metamorphs? Oh, it's not. Okay. Never mind. It's not. All right, done. Okay, your turn. Oh, too funny. They hit DT Oko, but like, look at the board. Look at this board. It's overwhelming. I love it. It's so cool. Ah, man. Good vibes. This deck just produces good vibes. Oh. I'm not gonna force anything because I know they have a Flusterstorm, so I'm just gonna have 6. They took Oko, Demonic. Like, what? Like, Time Walking doesn't do anything. What is it? Like, their deck doesn't have answers to this. The deck is not built for this. Like, they're gonna go get a Beseiju and kill my Atraxa, but like, they're still dead to constructs. Right? Like, Time Walking doesn't do anything either. They don't even have any more Atraxas in their deck. I have 2 aerial blockers. Maybe they have a Gaia's Blessing, and they can loop Time Walks every turn. Let me, do they have a Gaia's Blessing? I lost I had it up. Oh, they do have a Gaia's Blessing. They only have 2 Atraxas in their deck, because the 2 are exiled. So this shuffles, hits a new Atraxa, but they have to hit Time Walk. They hit Demonic, so they did hit a Time Walk. Oh, we might lose from here then. This is a spot where only having Gaia's Blessing gets you out of it, or having maybe Volt Key, Tendrils or something. I mean, they're only looking 8 cards every time, right? But if they get Vamp and why do they take the Vamp? Why do they take Brainstorm? Shouldn't they take now they play the Oko, they turn off my Atraxa. Yeah, I damn, wow. Cool. I know they have a Flusterstorm still as well. Oh, can they also like do multiple Atraxa triggers too? Oh, they missed the Time Walk this time though. But then it shuffles back in. But they won't get it off of the trigger though. But they just need to find a tutor or something. Which they didn't. Because they have 4 oaths. So now they put it all back in and they do it again. And this one has to find a Time Walk. It found Time Walk. It also found Demonic Tutor, but I can only take 1. Wow. Very cool. We might not even be able to present lethal if we do get a turn. Pretty cool. I mean, there's always the chance that Blessing is their last card and Atraxa right above it, but no, I guess then they would still mill it. Here's Blessing. This one's Atraxa. They missed Walk this time. They missed Walk. Wait, they have to miss DT as well, though. They missed DT. Okay. So then this one will clear the yard, and then they'll get 1 more Atraxa. So they could miss. It's kind of unlikely, agreed, but this was Atraxa on the top. 7 in 30. They hit Time Walk as the last card here. That's good enough for me. Wow. I wasn't expecting to lose from that spot. Kind of thought we had it, but we did. Okay, I like Negation Bobble and Cage, and then yeah, I mean that's definitely the upside. One of the upsides of having Gaia's Blessing in your deck. I typically don't like Gaia's Blessing in in that deck, but that's certainly one of the pros. Very cool, though. Cool way to lose. This doesn't seem like it does it. Just no fast mana, no interaction besides lands, which might be too slow depending on their draw. I'm gonna mull this. I like this. Put one force away. And go Ruby. I mean, this isn't great, but it's fine. Soul Ring, map. Pass with force. Then we can get Academy, which I guess doesn't give us that much mana either, but I mean, I'm gonna keep this hand. Pearl. Orchard. Oath. I will just lose if this gets countered. So I'm going to go and pitch the Metamorph. I think the monitor gives me some better chances here. Oh, let's see. All right. Saga Gaming. So if I were to get a, what if I get a Wasteland here? Saga's still too slow on Cage. We're not really beating Show and Tell regardless. If I got like an Academy, it only makes 3 mana, and this thing costs 5 mana, and then it only makes 2 mana. So I'd only have 3 total mana, and this thing costs 5 mana. I think it's just Saga. Maybe we just don't worry about the green mana. Okay. All right, no follow-up. Is it a new Saga or is it an Academy? I can play this monitor off of the Academy, so let's get a Tolarian Academy. Five mana thought. I just played a Mole Drifter. Banger. I didn't draw follow-ups. I have a lot of mana now. If I draw like an Infiltrator or something. Thought Monitor. Yeah, seems good. Synthesizer. All right, let's attack. Emerald. I guess that plays into trap. I think I'll cast trap. It's fine. Bauble Crypt. Bottom. Saga Gaming. Your move! Got him. Sweet. Oh, we can cast that. Oh, baby. Okay, let's go. All right. On the draw. Bauble and Trinisphere out. Let's get this trap. And Going back in. Okay, yeah. Forces. All right, let's negate this. And let's force this. I got nothing left, but I had to. My opponent jammed turn 1 Oath Orchard with double force backup. That's a good draw. I should not have ordered it this way. Declare that I'm casting Monitor and then crack my thing for mana. Draw 2. Ancestral. Draw 3. Ooh, I'm going off. There, got one card. Pass. I don't know if I want to play this Cage, considering I have a Mystic Forge. I definitely... I mean, I don't need to play the Cage. Like, if they play an Oath, I can play the Cage after. They got mana. I don't have mana. It's anybody's game. Oko? What are we doing here? Elk in a mana? No, it'll die. Elk in the Monitor? Standing up a Lotus? Making a food? This is a pretty cool set. Standing up the Lotus. Okay. World champion play. All right, all right. Another Lorien revealed. I'm gonna play a synthesizer, make my opponent elk it. Oh, I just want both of these, right? Those look so good. One, two, three. Oh, I guess I might not have enough mana to actually play this the way I wanted to. Oh, they drew the Oath? Uh-oh. Guess we're not forging. So, yo, thanks for the sub. I have one, two, three. So I actually have just enough to play Monitor. So let's go Cage, Monitor. Mindbreak Trap. All right, if they have an answer for Cage, it's bad. If they don't have an answer for Cage, it's still bad because they have an Oko in play. But at least I have a game plan. If they just end up like passing and Okoing my Cage, then it's still okay. The problem is if they have like a Into the Flood Maw or Beseiju or a Nature's Claim or an Abrupt Decay. Those are the big ones. From there, like, we still have some plays. I wonder if I was really supposed to scry that way. Oh, they lost connection to the game. Thought they were tanking. Oh, thanks for the resubs, everyone. Appreciate it. So, do we win this game if my opponent ends up elking the cage? I can attack Oko for 3 and them for 5, putting them to 7. A Nettlecess would win on the spot. We have either a big infiltrator or, I mean, we have active forge if they turn off our cage. Yeah, this is definitely a matchup where Oko is quite good. You'll find those every so often. All right, my opponent should be back soon. I have very low hopes if my opponent has an immediate cage answer where they get an Atraxa on this upkeep. With no Atraxa on the upkeep, which it looks like is happening, I think we have a chance. They did, oh no, they did the oath trick, so they have a show and tell then? I don't think it was worth going face, no. So they did the, okay. They did use their oath to put an Atraxa in their hand. I think. It says they milled. Oh, they put a collector oof in their hand. They they used oath to find an oof. That's a classic Mosh 110 play. All right. So I'm gonna get oathed here. What is my best line? Is it Mystic Forge? I don't even know if it's Mystic Forge. No, my Nettle Cyst. All right. So the Oko dies. This attacks them. This attacks them. This attacks them. I mean, what if they hit another oof instead of an Atraxa? Now they hit an Atraxa. What? Oh no! What is going on? They're so good though. They just knew there was an oof to get with the oath, and then they just hit Atraxa on the next one. What if they had hit the Atraxa and then the oof? I can't even equip the stupid Nettlecess now because there's an oof. I think we lost. I don't know, man. They got Probe, Atraxa, Jet, Boseiju, Claim. What is this? Oof. Ooh. Ooh, man. I don't know. It's a little sus to me, but I'm not the oath wizard. Yeah. I have an active forge. I could hit metamorphs, I guess. But they have a claim and a Boseiju. So I mean, if this was the opposite order, they would be in a lot more trouble. Let's put it that way. Claim on my Saga. Cast with Squad. Squad 2. I cannot pay for Squad 2. Okay. Cast with Squad. Squad 1. Force! Alright. I've been bested. I am willing. I can make them block and they won't get another oath. Banger. Wait, I should have attacked with the Graph Digger's Cage. My Metamorph was worth more. Oh, now they can't attack with Oof, I guess. I don't know. They played Beseiju? Because they drew an Oko? Okay, come on. What is that? I had a chance. I had serious chances there. They didn't have enough creatures anymore. I could have played off the Mystic Forge with my Academy. That's so frustrating. All right, now I don't have a chance, but I had legitimate chances in that game. GG. So that would have been a brick. No, yeah, that would have been a brick to start, and then yeah, maybe not. All right, 3-2, not a bad one. Decent 3-2 showing. I don't know, I kind of like the cards we changed. We didn't get to use the Crucible, but the map was great. The map was definitely good. Yeah, I'm not really sure where this deck goes from here. I think it's super playable. It does a lot of cool things. A lot of powerful things, too. I almost want to play more Infiltrators. We probably don't need to play 4 Synthesizer. That card actually seems like one of the weaker cards in our deck. Just because it doesn't do anything when it immediately enters the battlefield. But maybe like a third Infiltrator instead of a Synthesizer. I definitely liked the Infiltrators and the Nettle Cysts. I almost think that maybe you should be playing more Nettle Cysts. Don't know. The Nettle Cyst is just so good. It is by far like one of the best things you can cast off of just Workshop. Either way, thank you to Gary for donating to see his deck played. If you want to see your deck played on the channel, you should check out the Patreon link in the description below, where you can find all the information you need to submit a donation deck list. More vintage videos like this one on the YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.